Hey guys, this is Dick. I just wanted to let you know that this is a recorded version of our live broadcast of episode 125 on the Ticket Stub. We broadcasted live on the 12th of March 2020 at our usual time. So just want to give you a heads up if you're listening to us now. Also, we have a special guest coming in. We have actor and impersonator David Bourne coming in on our studio for episode 126, which will be happening next Thursday live in the studio on the 19th. So make sure to check that out. We're going to put out more info on David, what he's been in, and all that kind of stuff. So we're really excited about having him in. And if you want to catch David in his Robin Williams impersonator act, he will be here. I believe it's still going on. I'm not really sure since, the Corona stuff's going on. But on the 20th, he's performing at the Crichton Theater. But I really don't know about that right now. But you should check him out. If you want to check him out right now, robinwilliamsimpersonator.com. But hopefully we'll get him in the studio regardless next Thursday. We'll see you guys later, and hope you enjoyed this show. And this is episode 125 of the Ticket Stub Podcast.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZWLP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe, and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to the Ticket Stub, your favorite place for movie news and reviews. Ticket Stub is recorded every Thursday, comes live on FM 104.5 and 106.1 in the Conroe areas. You can also find us on irlonestar.com. We do a podcast. When's the podcast normally drop? Friday? Thursday night?
It usually drops right after the show, within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours of the show.
Of the live broadcast.
Of the live broadcast, which is noon on Thursdays. So look for that by Friday morning on your way into work. Ticket Stub has a ticket sponsorship with the Grand Theater and Amstar Cinema. If you would like to win free tickets to either the Grand or Amstar Cinemas, send us a DM, slide into our DMs. We'll put you on the weekly giveaway.
To our DM.
Wow, is that like a PBS that, like, the more you know?
Well, let me explain that real quick, because I think a lot of people are kind of confused on...
Yeah, the world wants to know.
Basically, folks, if you want to win 2 tickets to any Grand... Any Grand or any Amstar theater around the country.
The world.
Well, I guess I don't think they're in the world.
I don't know if they are. No.
Chris, what do you... Oh.
Hey, Chris,
Chris, you're not here. Basically, to enter, you need to...
mandatory quarantine in New Orleans right now.
I hope not, golly. Basically, you got to submit your name, and the best way to contact you through our DMs on social media or the theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com, and we enter you into our random name generator picker. That's a tentative title for it. And basically, when you get picked, we'll contact you and we'll send you your tickets. But we don't take your name out.
You stay in.
So you stay in. So the more people, to discourage as many people not to join.
So honestly,
you get picked every week. But yeah, that's the way I've set it up, because I was getting really weird to manage it, and this is the best way I can figure out like how we can get more people to interact with us. So send us your name and best way to contact you, phone number.
In the back
email
studio,
address.
we have a giant dartboard, and we get Dick really hammered.
Yeah, and actually, what we do is
we
continue that cocaine mouse study, and we give mice a bunch of cocaine, and we have your name all over.
Oh, and whichever one they go to.
Wherever they go to.
Okay.
So that's how we do it.
Yeah, and we also have a bunch of turtles inside a
we change it up
turned
every
over
week.
pail.
We change it
and
up.
we lift it up in the first
we
turtle.
We do marble mazes.
Each turtle has a name on it, and the first turtle to cross the finish line outside the circle. There's a bunch of ways that we do it, but it is random. It is random.
Jesus.
And so we want you to have the opportunity to win those tickets. By the way, my name is Connor. I'm one of the hosts of the show. Joined in studio, as always, by Dick Schisler. Sounds like he's doing good. Our other host, Chris Appel, is, how's that coffee tasting, man?
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. It's hot. Nice and hot. Chris Appel is GM of the Grand Theater here in Conroe. Normally on the show with us.
They have a new flavor. It's Lysol flavor.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
It cleans you on the way.
Cleans you inside.
Yeah, that's funny. If you drank a little bleach right now, it might help me clear things out.
That's a real deal. You know that, right?
Drinking bleach?
Like, people are making PSAs not to drink bleach.
Oh.
If you get it chronic.
Actually, I would say go ahead and not make that, because if people are drinking bleach, it's like kind of a...
natural selection?
Yeah, it's like some of these... This is a good thinning of the herd, maybe.
Oh, no.
Oh, is that bad? Oh. Sorry,
whatever.
I don't know. Anyways, Chris is gone. He's in New Orleans on a work conference for the Grand Theater. And
what do you think they talk about? They're like, this is how we show movies, guys. This is how you
they're
do
like,
it.
when you scoop the popcorn, you got to do it like this. I don't know. I'm sure they have like real stuff to talk about. But
Well, what's funny is I bet the coordinator for that whole conference is like, we got to talk about coronavirus. We got to talk about it. We have to talk about it.
yeah, I guarantee that's like 50% of their conversation right now is what does the theater do about they probably have all these plans of like team building. Hey, let's all lean back on each other and learn how to support.
But no, we're not doing that. Don't touch anyone 6 feet away. And
It's all
then
fist bumps
just shut
and
down
hand
your
waves.
theaters for a bit. It's probably because of that movie Outbreak we reviewed.
Dude,
where
okay. So I want to talk. So 2 episodes ago, or
It was the last
there?
episode.
Yeah, was it just okay? Did I miss an episode? I'm
No,
so
we
flustered.
were here
here.
last week.
Okay, was it just you and I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris has been gone.
Oh man, Chris.
We don't even know if he's part of the show anymore.
Honestly, like
I think he actually DM'd us saying enter me into the ticket giveaway, and we're like, hey,
I thought you were a host. He's
I
like,
like-
oh, this is awkward. Just go ahead and put me on that list for the ticket giveaways. Yeah, Outbreak. So we watched that last week and we both reviewed it. And at the time, and I'm still not like in panic mode about the corona, but at the time it was a little bit more of like a everyone's overreacting type thing. It seems like things are ramping up now. But I'll say that I feel like no, I know Netflix put it on Netflix and that's why it's gaining so much popularity. But I feel like we were a little bit on the spray that get a little.
kill it.
I feel like we were on the kind of the front end of watching Outbreak because since then I've seen like 20 people post on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, like, oh, look what I'm watching. And I'm like, yeah, we already been there, done that.
Well, subscribe to the Ticket Stub podcast.
Yeah, exactly. But if you do watch Outbreak at some point because of this virus, you need to go back to episode 124, listen to us talk about it because we have some great commentary. And if you haven't seen the movie, it will probably spoil things for you. But if you have seen it, and the part that is coming so true to life is how at first they were saying that.
Well, the quarantine's coming true, where they're just shutting things down.
Shutting things down, and also the how it went airborne, and now they're
Mutated.
Yeah, mutated. I don't think Corona mutated, but they're learning more about it or whatever, and now they're realizing how like breath communicate.
Well, that was so nice about that Joe Rogan podcast that came out, I believe, beginning of the week. With,
a couple days ago. Michael
couple days ago.
Oberhausen or something.
Yeah, some
Whatever.
consider controlled it. Well, someone basically said, summary, he's the guy who Brad Pitt played in World War Z.
Yeah, that's right.
But not the action star. He just
But not
knows
as hot.
He understands how things travel.
He has less abs though. Same guy.
But what frightens me the most is he was basically saying, when the summer comes, it's going to go into incubation period. But then when it comes back, it might mutate. And I'm thinking to myself, so this is how it really happens. It's not just like a weak thing, like an outbreak where one guy sticks his hand in the blood jar and just
oh gosh,
all of a
so
sudden,
stupid. What a stupid scene. Well, that was the other part he said that was like people are treating this like it's a virus blizzard, like it's going to last a few days and then be gone. He's saying it's more of a virus winter. Like you got to be prepared for months of this. Like this is the tip. I mean, they're postponing all this stuff. Yeah. They're postponing
don't
all
worry,
this stuff.
we've cleaned each other before.
Yeah, we didn't. We took a bath together before
Yeah.
we did the show just to make sure. But they're
Well, Holly was worried about the studio because she's like, people come in and do things, and I was like, well, we have our hand sanitizers and we have our Lysols that we clean the mics.
that's
with.
why we're exactly 6'1"
And,
apart.
we
Because they
do
said
it.
6 feet is the.
I asked her, I was like, do I just need to do this every time someone comes in? She's like, yeah, but just to be safe.
you
So
need to get one of those things right around the door frame that when they come in, it like and sprays them with whatever that mist is.
well, that didn't help.
Oh,
David Spade, or isn't it
not David
Spade?
Spade.
Sorry.
It was the pedophile.
No, we can't say his name.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
anymore.
He who must not be named.
I don't know his name.
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
I was thinking
thank you.
Patrick Swayze, but Kevin Spacey.
His character tried to run into that room. That didn't
Well, he
help
got a
him
little
at all.
case of the willies, man. He got a little bit of the willies. Outbreak.
Again,
check it out.
Again, with people like the most stereotypical outbreak or like infectious movie, like the one person who you think would tell somebody, "Hey, I got bit," or "I got infected," or "I might be infected." He didn't say anything.
Well, it's the same as that lady, that viral video of the lady who's saying like, "Do not touch your face." Let me turn the page. It's like if those people can't do it, if the people who are telling you and the people who are the most trained and the most skilled, if they can't follow their own rules, then we're screwed. We're totally screwed.
Well, I think also that information out there is so wild, where it's like don't touch your face, for example. Well, they need to explain what that does because because when some people who don't really know anything, to me, it's like, oh, that's because I already have the virus and I'm just going to get worse if I keep touching my face.
It's something about your eyes, I think, or something.
Well,
I don't really know.
it's more of like when you're around people, don't touch your face. But if you're at your home,
yeah.
just go ahead and just touch yourself.
Touch crazy. Go
Yeah,
crazy.
go
with your
crazy.
face.
But make
Yeah.
sure you Lysol up first.
Yeah, you got to spray down. Yeah, you got to spray down. Anyways, a lot of Corona talk going on. I did want to talk about. So we're recording this Thursday at noon. by the time you listen to it, there may have been new stuff that's come out. But as of this moment, here are the things that are currently shut down or postponed. I know this isn't movie talk, but it's just it's too relevant.
I wish Chris was here because now communities like Montgomery County are basically making statements. Like I think the biggest statement was in Harris County, which is Houston. Basically, they said something about like gatherings more than 50 people, I believe, aren't encouraged, but they're not enforcing. And I think they're enforcing 1,000.
Okay.
So any event that's 1,000 or more, they're like, you can't do it.
Yeah, I guess my birthday party's not going to happen.
Oh man. But no, I think that's what the statement was. So anything bigger than that, and so I wonder if like movie theaters are going to be hit pretty hard just because of the stereotype.
Luckily they did the new seating. Now they can only hold about 50 people.
Well, that's but the whole building holds more.
Oh.
So, but then again, and like this is something I'm very curious about because the overall impact on the movie industry is going to be hit because production's basically stopped. So worldwide filming and all that stuff is going to be stopped pretty soon. Like I bet you the production studios are going to make statements. I know movies are being delayed. The Quiet Place 2 is the most recent movie. He basically said,
have they pushed it back now?
They said we're going to postpone it. And what I love is they try to make it sound like it's the best interest for you because it's a buddy movie.
We don't want you to show up with your friend. And
I think what's his name?
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski put out a statement saying like the one of the things that we heard most about the first one was they enjoyed watching it with all their friends. So we don't want to encourage people getting together. And I'm like, well, then just release it on streaming for $35.
It has nothing to do with our bottom line.
No.
We don't care about making money. We don't want you and your buddies because if you won't go to this movie by yourself, it's too good. You're going to go with friends. And so we don't want to put you in that position to have to make that choice. So you know what? For you, we're going to go ahead and delay this film. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We're heroes.
And I'm interested to see the impact on the overall, like what movies come out 8 months from now. Or 10, like a year from now or something like that. Because that's usually, movies are wrapping up right now. It takes them about 8 months to get into post-production. And then if it's not graphical heavy, and then they release it. So I feel like the top-end industry is rethinking when their release dates. Like they're probably trying to figure that out right now. And I love that the current movies like Mulan, Black Widow, I love seeing them try to go like, we're already there.
Yeah, they're at the
we're
finish line.
We're literally releasing this movie in 2 weeks.
And on top of that, they've probably spent $50 million putting ads out.
And because let's set this up real quick.
Set it up.
And I want listeners to participate too.
Oh, okay.
If you were in charge of say Mulan, what would you do?
Are we waiting for them to respond?
Yeah, we'll wait.
Okay.
But no, like, what would you do, Connor? Like, you get the call
right now
from Bob.
When's it supposed
Bob's
to come
calling
out?
you, and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm leaving here, so I'm not really worried about what you do.
Yeah.
But my secretary needs to know what you're gonna do, or my assistant, whatever."
We're assuming that the release date is like a couple weeks from now.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, if it was this weekend, I would say push it out. Let's get it out there. We'll get that opening weekend surge still, and then people will freak out. If it's 2 weeks from now, I would postpone because there's no telling what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So look at the last 24 hours. I mean, so again, this is Thursday at noon. 24 hours ago, Wednesday at noon, there was still an NBA season to be played. There was still an NCAA tournament to be played. Baseball season wasn't going to be affected yet. The rodeo hadn't been canceled yet in the Houston area. U of H hadn't been closed down campus. Rice hadn't been closed. These school districts hadn't closed yet. And in 24 hours, look at how much has fallen apart. There's no telling. No, maybe in a couple weeks things will kind of level off and people will start to,
especially industries like us, or not industries like us,
like us in the movie biz.
Well, the movie business and other industries, I think it's the smartest play because even if they stayed open, the public's still not going to come.
Yeah, who's going to go?
Because that fear of getting some guy's a bean counter going, how many people are in this room? It's more than 50. We got to get the hell out of here.
It's like Jason Bourne going like, there's 3 exits. Okay, 3 exits. What car? I know your license plate.
And because like if Mulan, and this is where the streaming business side of the business to me is going to be greatly increased.
Yeah.
And it's smart. I'm surprised Netflix, if I missed it already, or other streaming services are not putting stuff out there like not as a joke, but saying like, hey, we put up a bunch of content. Why don't you enjoy it while you're at home and being like, those kind of things.
Yeah, they should have a whole tab like where it says like cringeworthy dramas.
Or not cringeworthy. It's like
or binge-worthy.
Binge-worthy, yeah.
Yeah, they should have one called like quarantine. Are you quarantined? Here you go. Here's a whole playlist of movies. It could be some like comedies because sometimes you need to laugh. And
well,
a
you
couple
need to
dramas.
pass the time. So it's like, hey, watch all 20 seasons of The Bachelor. or
or
something
watch
like
Love
that.
Is Blind, season 1. Did you watch that show?
No, I have not. I've seen they were promoting it, and I didn't really understand. Is it like a Bachelor?
Yeah, there's not one person dating a bunch. It's like everyone dating.
So it's like a Big Brother kind of scenario.
Sure,
where they're-
I've never watched Big Brother. So the plot of Love Is Blind. Let me talk about this show just for 1 second.
So it's a show. It's like a reality
It's like an
show.
8-episode reality show.
Okay.
It's like 8 episodes. They're each like 30.
Do they release it every week, or is it all?
I think it was released week by week, but it's all out there now. So it's all, you could binge it all.
Okay.
Basically what happens is the first 2 episodes, the people from the moment the thing starts until the very end, it's 40 days, I think, and their wedding is 40 days from the start of the deal. So they don't even know, they haven't met anybody yet, but if they make it that far, it's 40 days they'll be married. So they start dating in these little pods where you can't see the other person, you can just hear them.
Oh,
and
cool.
They have like 12 dates a day or
Would
whatever.
you shock this person? Yes. Shock them again? Yes.
Yeah, and so they're in these little pods and they're dating each other and they don't know. And then as time goes on, they start whittling down who they're having time with in these little like only voice pods. And the whole point is they just get to know each other. And then if they decide to get engaged in the pod, they have like 10 days.
Dude, that's a horrible
Yeah,
idea.
no, they get engaged to somebody they've never met, and that's the whole tag. I can't believe I just got engaged to someone I've never seen. Love is blind, and so if they do that, then oh my god, and then they meet each other, and then they have like 30 days to be engaged in real life, and they have to like meet each other's families, and they live together. It's kind of like that show Married at First Sight, which is a trashy drama, like
they
Bravo
missed
show.
the drama third act right here, because what they could have done is everyone has to pick their other pod, right? And if we matched, they go on to the next round.
Yeah, exactly.
So the
And
next
if you
round
don't match, you just fall off.
is Bachelor in Paradise issue. Like you put everyone in this like.
Well, they do have some. They all go to the same.
And you can meet other people.
They do go.
So that's how you create drama, man. TNT, call me.
Right after they're on the same page. Right after they're in the pods and they all get engaged, they all go for like 10 days to a resort in Mexico, but they're all at the same one, staying in rooms.
So they
like
are
right next to
meeting
each
each-
other.
okay.
So they are engaged, but they're meeting all the people they've already been dating through because they all know each other.
Yeah, engaged means nothing, man. what movie is that from? It's like
Sounds like a Vince Vaughn thing or
horrible,
something. I
yeah.
don't know.
It's horrible.
Anyways, Love is Blind. Why did we talk about that?
I don't really know.
That'd be a good Corona thing, though. In fact, that was did you see that? That was a SNL skit. They had
Love is Blind?
Yeah,
And-
but they were like, it was for people who had the Corona who were quarantined in the different pods because they're all by themselves.
Well, again, let's get back to this kind of final comment, like the
you wanna talk about
Mulan
movies
thing.
again? Okay.
Mulan, like what would you do? I am kind of surprised that the bigger companies aren't making a push to be like, this is a perfect time to say, hey, watch The Quiet Place 2 for $35.
Yeah, and maybe not 35. That seems kind of like
Well, no, you get with under 50 people and you watch it.
You get your 49 closest friends together.
Well, I mean, like, because that's what's the perception of this stuff going on. To me, it's like, can I not even talk to my neighbor? Like, is that something that like
you have to do it like Tim Allen style, where like you only your
well,
mouth
some
is
people
below the
are
fence.
some people are taking it that extreme, which I get. Like, you don't want to be stupid,
Yeah.
and that's the whole thing. Like, you can only blame yourself if you get it, and because you made stupid decisions. But then it's like, am I not allowed to go to see my mom and dad? Because people are asking that question now. But I haven't gotten to that point where, from what I feel like what you need to do is carry around have access to soap and water, and before you go into different rooms, just do something.
Yeah.
And
Before you make out with strangers, just spray a little of that Lysol.
think
spray.
about the Tinder impact this is happening.
Oh wow, Tinder might crash over this
Yeah,
next few
man.
weeks.
But no,
Or maybe not, because it's only as long as you're not meeting up with 49 or more people on your Tinder date.
that's not in a day. That's not a quota. But no, so it'd be a good opportunity for someone to be like, hey, because I even wanted to, we'll talk about this next week. There's an article written about the struggles with movie industry, big studios. Is what movie is eligible for worldwide release now?
Yeah.
And now they're kind of going like, oh, should we stream it, Netflix it, sell it to somebody else, or do we put it on the big screen? And I think this is a good opportunity to be like, hey, let's try that model where you can rent it right off the back for $35 or $50 or whatever. I mean, I wouldn't do 50 because you need 5 people to spend $10. It's about a movie ticket.
Yeah.
And
I will say that if this quarantine thing gets more serious, then I wouldn't be surprised if that starts to happen. Right? As long as people still kind of have free
it
movement.
would certainly work for kids movies because you're already
The
you
family's
know
there.
the average family has 1 to 2 kids, and you justify spending. Oh, usually when we go to the movie theater, we're spending $80 because of the popcorn.
Yeah.
But now we can be home and you spend the $40 to watch the new Pixar movie.
Well, plus you could do that and still release it theatrically after everything calms
Yeah.
down, because there's plenty of people who aren't going to do the rental thing, but would still go to the
theater and watch it.
Theater. Yeah. And I don't know, you could do some weird math where you roll all that into the opening weekend sales or whatever. And that
Like
would be
Mulan, what
show.
I would do is say, hey, for the time quarantine has been issued.
Use the promo code Corona.
Well, no, like we got to put it available for streaming for $50, and then when it's done, we'll put it back in theaters.
Yeah.
And then you can use that advertising campaign, like even if you watch it at home, experience it on the big screen.
Yeah.
And I can see people doing that. I don't think it will hurt the bottom line. I know the funniest thing that come out from the Mulan scenario is they changed Mulan so drastically to fit the China market.
Oh.
But now it's not like because there's no singing.
Yeah.
The Mishu or whatever's not
Chinese
in
people
it.
hate singing.
Well, no, like, and my wife, she was talking about, she's like, oh, I really want to go see Mulan. And she's like, let's put on some tracks because she grew up with that movie. And I was like, none of these songs are going to be in the movie, right? And she's like, she literally almost like pushed the brake of the car going, wait, what? And I go,
what?
Yeah. She's like, what do you mean they're not going to have, reflection and all?
Yeah.
She started naming off all this. But Christina Aguilera covered all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, you didn't know that? And I guess they wouldn't advertise that. I wonder how many people are going to go see that movie expecting music in it.
I bet
and then
ton.
no one sings it.
A ton.
And
as many
like,
people as went to Les Mis thinking that it wouldn't be all singing and then realized that
who
it
went
was.
to whatever the movie's called, not expecting.
Me? I had no idea. I thought they were singing, but not. I didn't know every word of dialogue was going to be singing.
That's how the movie moves. That's how the show moves.
Yeah, but in the plays and stuff, there's one play that doesn't have any singing at all. There's one theatrical version of Les Mis that doesn't have singing at all. There's one that has some songs like every other musical. But this one, I thought there'd be songs, but not exclusively. Let's do box office wrap up.
Yeah, let's move on.
Actually, before we do that, next week in studio.
Let's move back.
Yeah, before we move forward, let's please move backward. Next week in studio, I don't think I'm going to be here, but Chris and Dick will be in studio, unless Dick is still in like New Orleans. That could be code.
That's Chris.
Chris, sorry, unless Chris is still in New Orleans, which could be code for something else. I don't really know.
Maybe he's a sleeper agent.
Ooh, what if he was like an FBI guy, and the reason he's disappeared? It's like he's one of those guys who like 9/11.
He does wear watches.
He had a conference or whatever, and they're always synchronized.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
They're always synchronized. Next week in studio, we're going to have a guy named David Bourne be on the show. I'm pulling his IMDb up right now. David Bourne is a native Texan.
Yeah, I believe he's
from the Houston area, we think.
Yeah.
He's a veteran character actor in film, television, and stage. He's a licensed auctioneer, internationally recognized impressionist, and a stand-up comedian. He's a Robin Williams impersonator, like one of the top Robin Williams impersonators. Yep. Been in a ton of movies. Most notably, 2019 had a movie, The Highwaymen, that came out on Netflix, starring Kevin Costner. He was not the lead, but he was definitely a major character in that.
Yeah, he's like in Friday Night Lights, the TV show. He was in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. From what I understand, it looks like, looking at his Rolodex, it's more of Texas-based filming.
Yeah.
And things like that. And his main deal is Robin Williams impersonator. I think that's his main, because he's going to be performing, I believe, next Friday here in downtown Conroe at the Crichton, because they're doing the Rising Stars of Texas.
So does he just
event.
does he just do Robin Williams act as Robin Williams?
I think he combines it, because when he came in and was on another show, I thought it was really interesting because he could focus Robin Williams, but he was reacting to conversations. So he wasn't just doing bits. It was like he was talking to you, like trying to impersonate.
Like he knows enough. He's studied Robin Williams enough to know like how he might react to.
So I'm really excited about getting him in. And if you have any questions,
but he's coming in as himself. He's not coming in as
I want him to come in as himself, because I would get real tired talking.
But
to
he's going to have to do a little bit of Robin Williams impression.
No,
you don't think at all?
No,
at least like an impression.
No, I want to talk about his acting.
I know, but people want to hear him. People want to hear him do the. I'm not going to be here to force it to happen.
Then, what we're going to do for the next episode, 126, is you can write in questions for David.
Okay.
And Connor, you can write in questions too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the first thing you said was for the audience.
Bet.
And then the second thing was for me.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, David Bourne will be on next show, so that'll be pretty cool.
So write in questions, theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, or at the _ticketstub on Twitter. That'd be a good way to do it as well. And that would count as a DM if you DM'd us to get in, or a message to enter your name.
No, it doesn't, because we need to know more information.
Oh, okay, well then never mind. All right, let's do the box office wrap up. Yay. So people apparently are still going to the movies. So here is the March 6th through 8th weekend. Or are they? Top 5 earners. Number 1, Onward. Little puppy dog film. That's a little puppy dog. So it earned 40.
What do you mean puppy dog film? It's a Pixar fantasy.
Oh, never mind. What was the one? Sorry, what was the Homeward? What was the one?
Oh my gosh.
What was
the Call of the Wild?
Oh, Call of the Wild. My brain's feeling a little scrambled. I don't know what's
you
wrong
feel
with
sick?
me. Onward is the Pixar movie about the trolls or whatever. Yeah, they're blue.
They're looking for their dad.
Yeah, domestic 40 million opening. I bet that's not what they were hoping for. What do you think? The worldwide 68 million. The budget was only 150, so they're only 80 million in the hole.
Well, this is for the release dates of March 6th through the 8th.
I already said that.
So, do you think this is the kind of the first tale of the impact of the?
I think so. I think the fact that this Pixar movie didn't do more than 40 million is going to definitely be a sign of things to come. The Invisible Man did 15 million. It worldwide did 98 million, but that's already been out a little bit.
So, see right here, I put a little thing. It says
week number 2.
Week number 2.
Sorry, this graph is kind of weird, so I'm trying to understand it here.
Kind of easy. Title:
$7 million
domestic earnings, worldwide earnings.
$7 million budget. The fact they made 98 million on 7 million, I bet they're pretty happy, pretty good. The Way Back, $8 million opening weekend on a 9 million worldwide, 25 million budget. Not great. Sonic the Hedgehog, dang, it's made 295 worldwide. It only did 8 million this weekend. 95 million budget. They're pretty happy with that as well. Call of the Wild. That's a little puppy dog. Made 7 million this
Which
weekend.
isn't even real.
What, a puppy dog?
Yeah, it's not a real dog. I think like 90% of the.
Oh yeah, it's mostly. I mean, dogs are real, but this dog in particular is not real. 7 million this weekend. It has.
Would it be hilarious if like the underlining reason for that is Harrison Ford hates dogs?
Yeah,
because I can see that move because Harrison Ford is at that high of a movie actor where it's like an Orson Welles scenario where he's like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to have a dog. I'm not going to deal with a dog.
Because he doesn't want to be around dogs, so he forces it. I'll do this movie, but I will not be near a dog. Maybe he's got a serious pet dander allergy. Hey, you hear that dogs are not susceptible to corona, so you don't have to worry about it.
Told me they were.
I just saw a thing. It was on Facebook, so it could
Fake
be fake.
news.
Yeah, MSM. It made 114 total on a 125 budget.
We're having this conversation because Holly's like, what happens if we get quarantined together? And I'm like, well, thank goodness we're married. And she's like, another thing I love, she's like, well, you know, dogs can, Freddie can get it. And I go, well, we're just going to have to see what happens. Like, what happens if she dies? And I was like, well, just throw her over the fence.
Burn the body. Put her in the fireplace. Burn the body. Yeah, I had some friends I was talking to last night, and they were like, you know, if you die, that'd be really sad. But if either of our dogs die, I'll never recover. They were just joking, but anyways, that's pretty funny. So, upcoming movies for this coming weekend.
Burn the dog. It's probably the safest way to do it.
Yeah, well, you have to. I mean,
let's be real. Let's be real.
What was our movie? Our virus movie?
Yeah, Outbreak.
Yeah, Outbreak. They burned all those bodies in Africa.
Burn the bodies.
Carpet bomb. We got to carpet bomb them. Okay, so movies coming out this next weekend, March 13th weekend. I'm trying to get to a spot where I can actually look these up. I don't have my computer
Well,
today.
Bloodshot is the Vin Diesel movie where he gets nanobotted. He gets nanobotted, so he's indestructible. Which is, I bet you that's why he wanted to do the movie. He's like, I love being on screen, and then I love being on screen. That makes me indestructible.
Oh, he
that.
loves that.
Yeah, he loves that. So
he apparently he's a soldier who dies.
Yes.
And they bring him back with nanobot technology.
Yes.
And he actually is he the bad guy?
No, he's the good guy. I think the trailer gives way too much. So if you haven't seen the trailer, do not watch it.
Well, if you're nanobotted, who could ever fight you? Like who's?
Other nanobots. Duh.
Oh, is there more nanobot people?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got the Walmart version.
He got the great value nanobots. And then
another movie coming out is The Hunt, where we've been talking about because it was delayed. And what I find hilarious, they delayed it because of political reasons, and now they're probably wishing they could delay it even further because of health reasons.
Dude, I'm into this movie. I think this is going to be really interesting.
The Hunt. See, this is the perfect movie to release for the $20 deal.
This is a streaming. Yeah.
Like this is like, hey, The Hunt, or I mean, $20-$30. I don't know what the right way to price it. That's a accounting.
Or
thing.
another thing would be just sell it to Netflix. I don't know if Netflix is interested.
Well, you can't. You gotta get it out. You gotta. They've already promoted it. They've already done all this stuff, and that's the best thing to do is just say, hey, spend a couple $1,000s on Facebook ads saying we're going to release it temporarily for streaming right here.
I think $20 to $25 is a sweet spot for something like that where people would spend it. I think if you get the 30 more, even though there's the value of the ticket to the movie theater, I think people will view it differently because they're at home. But if you had it in $25, I could see, me and Lindsay tonight being like, well, let's just rent that. You know, we can't go. We're not going to go to the theater.
Well,
we don't want to get coroned up, so we're just going to watch.
Well, one thing I would like to see happen in the future of purchasing movies online and watching movies at movie theaters is similar to what the concert scenes doing with a bunch of musicians or bigger musicians is they don't make any money off the record sales anymore because of how much control the record companies have, or the production companies, producing companies have. So what they started doing is to, when you buy a ticket, because tickets are astronomically expensive, they include the CD. And so you can download it. So you really aren't producing a CD and they give you a CD. It's like, here's a download code.
Yeah.
And like, I would like to see that happen more with the movie industry, especially if Disney's buying movie theaters and stuff like that. Like that, to me, you're going to hit that point where people aren't going to pay $19 to see a movie. But
yeah, they used to sell the DVD with the digital, it'd be the Blu-ray, DVD, digital download.
but no one's
all
really
at once.
wanting a physical copy anymore.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is like another version of that.
Like if I was Amazon and I'm producing this movie and you go see it, I think if they got to have a technology where if I took a picture of the ticket or something,
a little code on it.
I don't really, see, that's what I would like to
Scratcher.
see.
You put a little scratcher on the back. People love to scratch also. People love scratching things off tickets. So you scratch it off, enter the code in, then you have access to the thing online.
Yeah.
Perfect. We just solved it.
And this is a wish. Because to me, it's like, oh, I bought a ticket, I get $10 off.
What you need to do is make that a...
Because there's something crazy going on with Amazon when it comes to purchasing movies from them. It's like the gas market where some movies are really expensive, some movies are dirt cheap. Like we recently purchased Dennis the Menace, and it was like $17.
The actual physical disc?
The rent. Or not the rent, to buy on Amazon.
Why did you buy Dennis the Menace
Holly
for $17?
wanted to watch it.
So you bought it for $17?
And I was like, man, that's expensive for a movie that came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
But then when you go to Amazon, you can buy the DVD for like, $8. And I was
Maybe they're trying to push DVD sales.
I don't really know.
Maybe they have a warehouse full of Dennis the Menace
There
DVDs.
just doesn't seem like an equal part to the purchasing world.
I'll tell you, they have a whole warehouse full of Dennis the Menace DVDs they're trying to push. And so they're like, let's make the rental 3 times as much as actually buying the DVD.
Well, she rented Parasite, and it was like $9. And I think that was right before the Oscars. And I was like, that's $9? Like, what? And then that was with tax and all that stuff. But I was like, that's a high rental fee. But then again,
that does seem expensive. I guess surge pricing.
Well, it's probably that movie where like we're gonna get everything we can get.
That's right. Well, yeah. Before nobody ever watches it ever again.
Yeah.
And then the other thing coming out, I Still Believe. Now this is like a Christian movie, I think, right?
I have no idea. I just saw.
I'm pretty sure it's a Christian movie.
I figured that'd be up your alley. So.
Well, I am not positive, but I think it is. And if so, I'm sure that the Christian people will all go see it, and I probably will see it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, this is a true story of a Christian music star, Jeremy Camp.
Oh yeah, he's a real music star.
And
guy.
his journey of love and loss.
Oh, there we go. I think he wrote a song called "I Still Believe." So I bet that song's not played in the movie though. All right, cool. Well, that's what's coming up in the box office breakdown.
That's exciting.
So let's go to break real quick.
No, we don't need to go to break.
You don't want to go to break? Sometimes I like to go to break just to kind of recoup, refresh. Quick break, just a quick one. Just a really quick one. Plus, we have some beautiful ads that I'm sure need to get played or whatever. And we'll regroup. We'll come back. We'll do movie news, and then we'll do the rewinds, the movies that we've seen over the last week. Spoiler alert, I don't have one. Dick does, but we'll cover all that.
Spenser Confidential coming your way. Available on Netflix right now. We'll be right back.
I'll take that. Bye.
This is not a drill.
Hey, Stubbies, this is Dick. It's a break right now during our show, and I just want to let you know a couple things that are happening with the Ticket Stub podcast and update you on some cool stuff. That's right. First, if you didn't know, we're always giving away 2 tickets to the Grand and Amstar theaters around the country. Every week, we give away a pair of tickets to a random winner. The issue is we can't give them away to you unless we know who you are. What you need to do is submit an entry by either emailing us at theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com or direct message us on social media, and then your name will be entered in our random real name picker. That name you submit, though, won't leave the picker. So you'll be entered every week, even if you win. So make sure to include the best way to contact you and how we can get the tickets to you, et cetera, et cetera. And once you enter forever. So you could win every week. Like I said, again, just email us at theticketstubpodcast@gmail.com or direct message us on our social media. And so next would be we are looking for suggestions on movies that we should review, or at least I am. You can always email us at the email address I said several times, and then you can direct message on social media. Probably the most important thing that is happening with the Ticket Stub is the broadcast on Lone Star Community Radio is going towards a nonprofit. That's right, 501(c) nonprofit status. So you can actually support our show by donating specifically to the Ticket Stub podcast or become one of our sponsors of our show. So if you're interested in donating or sponsoring our program, the theticketstubpodcast at gmail.com is the best way to contact us, or you can visit us online at our website at irlonestar.com/TTS. That is our webpage. We're going to put donation info on there, so if you want to be a donor, or again, if you're a business or something that you want to sponsor the program on a reoccurring basis, we do have sponsorships available. So that's the big news. Let's get back to the show. Dick signing out.
Welcome back on the Ticket Stub. Wasn't that break nice, Dick?
I'm the one doing everything. So, I mean, I don't really like taking breaks.
That's just because it makes more work for you. Because
I have to do crap.
You have to click a couple more buttons. I know, but we kind of get to catch our breath, reset our minds. Because we were talking about the box office. Now we're moving on to movie news. And we need to, get things ready for the news ahead. So, I want to talk a couple things really quick. First off, South by Southwest closed in Austin. Man, that's huge. I mean, they're closing everything, so it's not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great venue for low-profile movies to get seen and get talked about, get the buzz.
Yeah, what the implication is going to be for some of those movies that might otherwise have had a chance to get a little bit of publicity.
Well, again, this is that streaming solution where it's not the best solution, but it's the best they could do.
Especially on no notice.
Yeah. And like one thing I would encourage South by Southwest and other industry film festivals like that is you could do special things where, you could do South by Southwest at home.
Okay.
And spend $200 and you get access to like the movie premieres or, something like that where you get one-time deal to watch them and then they're gone.
How are they going to make that? They have to have an app or something. I mean,
I don't really know how they would do it because it's kind of like what they're doing with the Oscars. Where now they're the next Oscars they're making available to all the movie screening online.
Oh,
so
that'll be good.
People can't have an excuse of not watching, like having the flexibility of watching the movie to vote.
Which is ridiculous to me that you could vote for the Oscars and not have seen all the choices.
And I that to me is the logical decision.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about festivals this big, and like how do we prevent something this big ever happening again? That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely there's a lot of fallout besides just the top of the pyramid here. Like when you hear about things like the Houston Rodeo or when you hear about the NBA being canceled, there's so many people whose livelihood is supported by those things also. I mean, think about South by. I'm sure that Austin relies on the money that comes in from that.
I think it was like $325 million comes in.
Just on South by Southwest?
Just by.
And so you think about all the small businesses, all the restaurants, all the hotels, all the Airbnbs.
Well, the livestock and rodeo, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I know the livestock rodeo people have been raising those cows for like a year, trying to sell them and stuff, and now they just, I guess.
Well, no, they did recently announce the scholarships will be provided still. They're still going to.
But how do they give them out for people? They don't know who won or whatever. Isn't it all about like who won?
The certain ones.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Those people are just SOL.
Sorry, guys. But yeah, it's crazy because there's all the, Mark Cuban for the Dallas Mavericks was saying that they're, and this may just be him saying they're going to try, but they're going to try to figure out ways to maybe even pay their minimum wage employees.
Yeah, like the vendor people.
Yeah, because like those people need those, like those are their jobs, and what if all of a sudden your job just was like, oh, sorry, you can't come to work for 6 months. That would really screw you over a little bit.
I really hope this thing doesn't last for 6 months.
Yeah, me too, but that'd be wild.
I don't want to be stuck with my wife. I love you, Holly.
We'd watch so many movies on Netflix.
Well, she doesn't even like the movies I like. That's the worst thing.
No, you're wanting to watch Spenser Confidential, and she don't want to probably watch it.
No, she wanted to watch this.
Okay.
There's certain actors that we meet in the middle on, and Mark Wahlberg is certainly one of them.
Mark. Well, he's got the sex appeal.
I guess. He's actually a good comedic actor.
Oh, I love Mark Wahlberg.
And he's up there where I'll pretty much see any movie he's in. And
you think I'm a good actor?
Yeah.
That's my Mark Wahlberg. I'm not a very good impressionist, as you could probably tell, but that is a spot on Mark Wahlberg. So another thing going on in movie news, saw this on the New York Times. Tom Hanks has the corona, and his wife. Sorry, Rita or whatever her name is, but Tom Hanks, one of the first like really famous high-profile people
he's the one
I saw.
That came out and said it.
Yeah,
which I think is kind of interesting because like, why would you need to tell us, Tom?
I think it's probably trying to.
Because now everyone who like knows you, like I talked to him yesterday.
My guess is number one, it's probably because he wants people to know that it's. But I bet it's so people will take it more seriously.
That even gods can be affected.
Even gods can bleed.
Well, no, kind of it's weird because it was kind of the both sides of the coin going like, all right, it's nice that he's promoting like self-awareness, but then it's like the other side goes, man, if he dies, everyone's gonna be sad, and then everyone's gonna like wonder if they talk to Tom.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest deal from what I understand. Like the livestock rodeo thing, there's a couple people got infected here in Montgomery. because someone came from Italy and they don't release information about where they were in the public. Because basically they said about the livestock guy was like, he went to the barbecue.
There's like 1 million people there.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, well, what tent or what time or, because really what the people need to realize is getting tested, but getting tested has a cost and labor to it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they should.
When you just generally say he was there at the barbecue festival, anyone, like if he was there past 9 p.m., anyone before that would be like, oh, I don't have to go get tested, I'm good.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying that, why aren't there tests everywhere? Like, why aren't they having drive-through testing it?
Well, they should come to my house and test me,
Yeah.
and then they should probably look around and see if I'm doing anything else other suspicious activity.
While they're there.
I mean, they already want to do that, so it's the government.
Yeah. Get the NSA involved.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Hanks, I mean, wouldn't it be crazy? I was thinking about this because there's a couple of athletes, Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell for the NBA have both been tested positive for it. Wouldn't it be wild? I mean, there's not that many things like this where it actually affects like famous high-profile people that everybody knows. I mean, like the flu, not that often. Maybe it happens, we just don't hear about it.
We're also looking at something that we don't fully understand in the sense of this isn't like a mutant thing where if you get it, you're dead.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, and I think a lot of people that's the way people are viewing it. Like, oh, if you get it, man, good luck.
But also Tom Hanks, he's in the age range where more susceptible to dying from the old corona.
Yeah, but again, it's just the flu.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is just the infection rate so high and the conversion rate of that. And
the death rate's higher, too, at least as of right now.
Well, the flu kills people.
Yeah, but this is killing more people.
Because the infection rate is higher than the flu.
No, but it's percentage of people who get it who die. It's a higher percent, is what they're saying. It's like they say the flu. I'm just telling you. They say the flu on a bad year will kill like 0.1 to 0.2% of people who get it. Like 1 in 1,000, 2 in 1,000.
This is killing like 3 points.
This is killing like 3%. So it's like 3 in 100.
But you're also looking at numbers that are a lot lower than the overall flu.
Well, I understand, but it's percent of people. It's just percent.
Do you understand that? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand how percents work? It's like if you took a whole pie and cut it and cut 3%
we're taking
of the
a break here. So think of this way. The average year, I'm making this number up, 100,000 people get the flu.
Gotcha.
1.3% die, right?
Okay, whatever, yeah.
10,000 people get corona.
Okay.
3 point whatever percent. So those numbers don't really match because more people get infected with the normal flu than those percentages aren't equal because you're based on a different sample.
No, that's what I know, but that's why you use percentages because it tells you similarities between two unlike things. Like it's a ratio. The ratio of people who get coronavirus to die as of right now, and they may realize that more people had it and aren't dying, and so it's actually a lower percent than what they think. But that's how they do everything. Percentages. That's the reason why they use the percentage. Obviously, it's less total people dying. Yes.
So we're good.
Okay, so that's all.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we're good. Well, Tom, wish you well.
I mean, if it takes one Tom to go away and then we save the rest of people, I'm down.
I'll sacrifice.
I'll throw him over the fence.
Yeah, Woody. Although that would make Toy Story 3 would be even sadder if you knew that Tom Hanks was dead from coronavirus watching that one. 'Cause that's a pretty tearjerker movie anyways.
No, there's computers out there that'll be able to mimic his voice.
Oh, deep fake him. We'll just get his son.
They have enough samples of his audio, so it's like we can make it again.
Yeah, we could just create a whole Westworld Tom Hanks bot.
Well, that's one thing I want to ask David. It'd be real awkward when he comes in next week and say, hey, has anyone approached you to do voiceover work as Robin Williams when it's post Robin Williams' career?
Like for Aladdin, Prince of Thieves?
You know that has to have happened in one scenario. Because there's a couple of times an actor passed away before they were finished. And they're like, we gotta. Well, like, what's
Paul Walker?
Paul Walker, yeah.
I bet, dude. You need to ask David Bourne. Write this one down. Was he mad that they didn't ask him to do the genie voice? Because Robin Williams only did like the first Aladdin, I think, or maybe the second one. But there's a third one, and somebody else did that. Was it him?
No, it was not him. And then the cartoon was not him. I think Return of Jafar was him.
But then Prince of Thieves was not.
And then Prince of Thieves wasn't.
But he's got to be pissed about that because he's like the Robin Williams guy.
But they won't pay you enough. They won't. Because those are direct to video, so they can't get like. Because most people who work for, and this will be a question for David too. Say you work on a TV series, which he did. As the industry, do you expect to get paid more the more you work? In a sense of like, say I've been on the show for 7 seasons. How much more money did you make after every season? Because I know that's a lot of issues with TV shows that go beyond like the 3rd season. Because when the contract comes up, it's like we got to double their pay now. Yeah, which is basically doubles our budget, which we don't have.
Oh, but David Bourne wouldn't make the Robin Williams money, so I'm just saying.
Well, I'm saying Robin Williams. So, for example, Robin Williams did the first Aladdin.
Yeah,
he made $1 million because it's a worldwide release movie. And then when they're making a direct sequel to video, They're like, hey, this is a smaller budget. We're not paying you more money. We're not going to even pay you $1 million because this is a straight VOD.
Yeah, but
So
I'm just saying David Bourne's probably pissed that they didn't call him up for that.
they probably did.
Yeah.
He just won't tell anybody.
Maybe so.
Because that's got to be the awkward part of making movies. It's like, that Paul Walker passed away and they had to finish the movie.
Yeah.
And some movies do it really
didn't have
well.
to. They just chose
Where
to.
it's like, what was that Kevin Spacey movie where they literally just redid the movie
Yeah,
and
Gotti.
took them all out? That wasn't Gotti. It was some, was it Gotti?
Maybe not Gotti. It was something like that, though.
Yeah, whatever.
They put Christopher Plummer in. It wasn't Gotti.
Yeah.
It was something similar, though.
But we're looking forward to having David in the studio next Thursday. And yeah.
And
There's
yeah.
that.
All right, that's all the movie news we got. Dick, we're doing the rewinds, part of the show where we talk about the movies
Yeah,
that we've seen over the last
so-
week. I didn't see a movie this week. I apologize for that. I was out of
Beginning
town,
of
spring
this
break.
month, on the 6th, Netflix released their movie, Spenser Confidential. So
This looks like a riot. I've been watching
So,
the trailer on the off monitor here.
I had no idea really about this movie until I
Are
saw
they
it on
seeing this?
Netflix.
Are they seeing this
They're
now?
seeing it now.
Okay.
They're seeing the
Okay.
trailer. I had no idea about this movie. I had no idea it was really coming out. I didn't know it was a Netflix movie.
Netflix doesn't do the best job promoting the stuff that's coming out.
Well, I think that's also because of the way people pay attention to stuff. They don't. It's not like a worldwide release. They don't really say March 6th. Check this movie out.
Yeah.
Like HBO does a good job because every time you watch an HBO show,
know,
they
you
have a
see-
trailer. It's like
Exactly.
coming this month. Do.
That's what Netflix needs to get better at.
They're working on it, I bet. But basically, this is an hour and 15 minutes, rated R.
An hour 15?
Hour and 51.
Oh,
sorry.
I was about to say it's tight.
It's an action comedy crime movie. It's based off of a TV show called Spenser for Hire, which had 3 seasons, and also a book called Spenser. The original character is Avery Brooks, if you don't know who that is. He played Hawk, and then Robert Urich played Spenser. So in this movie, Mark Wahlberg plays Spenser, and Winston Duke plays Hawk.
Is that the black guy?
That's the big dude, yeah.
Okay.
So the synopsis of this movie is when 2 Boston police
it's what's his name?
officers. I'm trying to do this.
I'm watching the trailer. Post Malone.
I don't do this when you're giving your deal.
Yeah, you interrupt me all the
All
time.
the time. When 2 Boston police officers are murdered, ex-cop Spenser teams up with no-nonsense roommate Hawk to take down criminals. I will say that synopsis is about 70% true. The movie...
It's about 70%.
Well, because they introduced it as like a buddy cop movie or buddy movie. It really didn't feel like that. Like, I didn't really see the relationship between Spenser and Hawk in this movie in a sense of like,
Were they
I'm going to
total
take a bullet.
opposites?
I'm going to take a bullet for you. There really wasn't that kind of moment. It was kind of strange because the movie had some plot, not holes, but I would say like,
Plot tears?
I mean, there were some things that didn't make sense.
No way.
And I wanted I want the listeners and stuff to help me out. So let me go over the star who's in the movie, and then keep going through that. Okay. So the movie is directed by Peter Berg, who is an actor director who's done a bunch of movies with
Love Peter Berg. Him
with
and Mark Wahlberg.
Him and Mark Wahlberg have made 5 total
What was
films.
that? Deep Horizon?
Deep Horizon, Lone Survivor, Patriots Day, Mile 22. So it was directed by him, and then
Which they normally make kind of like almost true life action movies together.
yeah, I think they
Like
they know how. I bet the reason they work so well is they make the movie really fast. They get the point, and I think that's what suffered in this movie because I'll go into more details on that. It also stars Alan Arkin, who's an Oscar winner. He's plays Henry, who's the father of Mark Wahlberg's character. Was in Little Miss Sunshine, Edward Scissorhands, Argo. You probably know who that is.
Yeah. If you don't know Alan
Eliza Schlesinger, who's a comedian. She plays
I like her. She's fine.
girlfriend Sissy Davis. And then Bokeem Woodbine as Driscoll. He plays the previous, like I said, his ex-cop, who was his partner when he was a cop. Plays Driscoll, TV actor. That's who he is. Bokeem is. He's been in Riddick, Total Recall, The Rock, but he's primarily in TV. And then special appearance by Post Malone and Mark Maron. He's in the movie for a little bit.
Okay.
So overall acting, I would say everyone did a good job and got their character out there, but it wasn't. No one stood out. Post Malone did all right. It was his first appearance in a full length feature film. He was okay. I think his tattoos really played well because he was in prison.
Yeah. He's kind of boxed himself in as far as doing anything other than that. Like if he wants to,
Yeah, like he's
transition to
gonna He's gonna play the Danny Trejo characters. So he's like you've been pigeonholed, bro.
What if they put him in like a rom com with like Jennifer Lawrence or something where they fall in love and he's like supposed to be some
Jennifer
guy.
Lawrence with Post Malone. I could see it.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be like some misunderstood guy who's like a writer or something. But he's got these like ridiculous barbed wire tattoos all over his face.
I mean, I don't think he's trying to be an actor. I think he probably probably knew Peter Burr, whatever. They're probably
Didn't you hear
in
he
the
like doesn't
circle.
shower or he smells so bad that people like want to throw up when
I
they're
don't doubt
around?
it.
Yeah, but girls still like him though. He's rich.
I guess, man. So this is where I want the listeners who watch this movie. The issues I had with this movie was the twist at the end did not meet my expectations. So in the beginning of the movie, spoilers going
Don't
ahead.
spoil it.
I can do that.
I haven't seen it.
It's not my fault.
I know, but I haven't seen it. Just allude to it. Don't
Allude
talk
to
about
it. So I can't talk about this crap now.
Well, you can't. It's
Basically, the
brand new
twist
on
at the
Netflix.
end.
Everyone's like interested in it. They're gonna go watch it now. You're gonna
Yeah,
tell
so
them
the
at
twist at the end didn't really make a lot of sense to me in the impact.
Okay.
Because they were trying to lead it up to where this big criminal mastermind, this huge conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And like I just didn't see the amount who was in charge of it all. I just didn't see it. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
There's probably going to be a sequel to this. That's how they kind of alluded
Really?
to it. Well, it's based off a series, so it's like they go on adventures
They
together.
got a lot of stuff.
I got a really big Jack Reacher vibe from the movie because basically Mark Wahlberg goes blind when he sees people in like they're unjustified in their in the way people are treating them and they're wrongly
He literally
accused.
goes blind?
Well, I'm saying like he just gets like he gets really upset and they're like Spenser, don't do it, and he's like, well, I'm gonna have to because I just care so much.
That'd be a bad superpower if you literally went blind when you saw injustice.
Oh, and then like
if you were a cop.
and I mean I get it, but I don't at the same time. And
But it was funny.
They did it. They did a lot of funny moments. And one thing I will say, the trailer does not match a lot of the movie. And then so that kind of upset me a little bit. Like, for example, in the trailer, there's a scene where Hawk is in the car, he has headphones on, and he is listening to classical music. And then inside the thing, Mark Wahlberg's getting beat up. Well, that scene, he's not listening to classical music. It's not really like it. It's really strange. I was like, why put that in the trailer?
Yeah.
And then have that done. I think really what happened was they didn't spend enough time on the script because I did not feel like it was a buddy cop movie or buddy movie. I really didn't see the relationship being developed. The girlfriend, who's played by Schlesinger, the comedian, she really had no
Dr.
purpose
Laura,
in it. She had some great lines in
Dr.
it.
Laura Schlesinger.
She was really funny in her delivery. She played a typical Boston overreacting girl, which I think adds some flavor to the movie. You get it that's in Boston, and when she interacted, it was really funny. But she really didn't do anything much like to help the movie. She showed up at random points, and to the point where you're like, you wouldn't go with them.
Yeah.
Like, why is she going with them?
I love it when like the girlfriend in a movie will make these ridiculous choices that like Holly, someone like Holly.
Well, like there's a scene where they're like, we're gonna go challenge the bad guys. Why would she be there?
Yeah, hey, you want to come, babe? We're
Yeah,
gonna
like
go fight
why
these-
would you go?
She's like, no. There's always that scene in the movie like, no, I'm coming with you. Or like a little kid will do
Yeah,
that. Like,
and you're like,
some little
no.
some little 7-year-old's like, all right, we're going to fight the boss. I'm coming too. Okay, come on, kid.
But it's available
Makes
on Netflix. I'd love to talk more about it with folks. So let us know your thoughts about
Definitely
Spenser.
worth watching.
I would say it's the perfect Netflix movie.
Gotcha.
So you're not paying too much for it, and you can watch it. It's easy to swallow. Like you don't have to pay attention 100%.
Yeah. I think Netflix. I think that's like Netflix's niche. Like, they don't need to try. Like, I feel like Amazon is doing more of the Oscar quality movies and HBO. Like, let them kind of handle that. Hulu's got like TV and all that kind of stuff. Netflix is like movies to have where it's kind of like I just want to chill. I mean, Netflix and chill, but like literally, I just want to chill and watch stuff. I don't want to think too much. I don't want to have to like be so invested that if I have to hit pause and go to the bathroom or go fold my laundry.
To give people a perspective of this one, this is basically a comedy version of Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
And like Jack Reacher to me, the first one was really well made. It had that crime. It had the thriller to it.
Good twist.
Yeah, like you got involved. Good action, good acting.
What's the weird Russian guy's name?
Oh, dude, he's like, I love what's the German actor? Man, he was so good
German?
in that. Yeah, he
Shoot, we should know his
he
name.
bit off his fingers. What was that line? Man, I just went blank. That was such a good bad guy
Why did he bite his fingers off?
because he was in a cell in Siberia.
I'm in Siberia. I'm in a cell, and would you bite your fingers because I'm a prey, not a predator?
to prevent frostbite
Is that what it was?
and gangrene.
What? I know that guy's name.
Man,
why
that's
can
such
I
a
not,
great
Why can I
scene.
not think of it? Hold on, you talk for a minute.
Herzog. His last name is Werner Herzog.
Werner Herzog.
But yeah, he bites his own fingers. He's like, you can do the same or die. And he has like great accent. he's like blind.
Yeah. Yeah,
And,
the dude, but he's still like people are still following him. Like he's still the mastermind.
no one knows how
That's
that
what
works.
I always love when the mastermind is like, why doesn't someone just beat that guy up and they take charge? Like in a real mob or whatever, wouldn't that happen?
Well, I think it comes down to you prevent your henchmen knowing where their bank account, like how they're
yeah,
getting
I
paid.
guess so.
is.
You're the one who controls the most.
That's what I love about the Joker and the Dark Knight is like you're sitting there as a henchman and like they have this pile of cash and he's about to burn it all. I'd be like, hey, dude, boom, you're dead. Like this is.
I'm rich.
I mean, that's one thing I loved about that movie when I saw that because I was like, why isn't someone just shooting this dude and putting out the fire? Like, it's not like they're religious like zealots or they just follow everything the Joker does.
He's very convincing when he talks.
But yeah, I was waiting for that part, but it didn't happen.
All right, well, Spency Confidential.
Yeah, it's
pretty
available
good.
on Netflix. Check it out. Next week, I'm either going to review Yesterday or I'm going to review Hobbs and Shaw is coming to HBO, and I really finally want to see that. So probably going to review that.
Hobbs and Shaw is your movie. Yesterday is good, but it's very like Disney.
Well, we started watching it. Holly and I did, and I told her I was like, I'm not really interested in this, and I'm not going to last. So next time we sit down, I want to sit down and like finish it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to last tonight. Like I don't care. I'm tired.
It's a good movie. It's Disneyfied for sure. Hobbs and Shaw. It's everything you could want from a Hobbs movie.
You've seen it.
So
I wanted to ask you this. Why didn't they, and this is what I thought would be really creative, but they didn't do it. So basically in the movie is based off, everyone forgets the Beatles music, but this one character, and he starts remembering the songs. He's a musician, so he starts becoming popular because they think it's his music. Well, there was like a big jump where Ed Sheeran sees him on TV, and then all of a sudden it's where you think the movie's going, but within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't they just do what the Beatles did? Like study the history of how the Beatles climbed up, because they didn't become successful, but in the States they did overnight in a sense, but like over there they didn't. And so I was like, why didn't they just do that? I didn't really understand that. I knew I knew where they're going with the movie.
I think they just wanted him to get famous in the movie.
I knew where they wanted it, but it's like there's got to be
where
a more
the drama came in once he got famous.
Because that's one thing I did not like, because the only character that responded well to the Beatles music was the girl.
Yeah.
She was the only one that really goes, wow, like that was really good. Everyone else is making fun of them.
Yeah.
You know, like when they hear it, they're like, oh, good job. You know, like no one really, because the whole idea of the movie is how impactful that music is. And only one person so far is like really resonated with like, oh man, you are touching me in the heart.
There's some good scenes where he's trying to remember all the lyrics to everything and stuff. There's definitely some good parts of that movie.
I don't know. I think Hobbs and Shaw is really my type of movie.
Hobbs and Shaw's more your
They
style.
touch me
Yeah,
in the heart.
it touches
like
me
they
deep.
know how to do it.
Deep down.
What I'm hoping to see, because I've seen the trailer, what I'm hoping to see is they actually fight each other at one point as like a training montage.
Ooh.
But I don't know, because The Rock versus Jason Statham, I don't see that.
No, the whole thing about
really
Jason Statham, he's
happening.
like smooth,
Yeah,
and
so
has
I'm-
like gadgets and stuff, and The Rock is more of like brute force.
Yeah,
Kind
I'm
of yin
excited
and
about
yang,
it.
if you will. Well, I won't be here, so I'm not going to have a movie to watch. I'm sure Chris will
great.
have something.
Are you
unless
coming
he's-
back?
I might or might not. Hey, you can fly
Check it
right
out.
now, like tomorrow. You could fly to Hawaii round trip for $300. Just FYI, if you want to take a trip, plane tickets are pretty
Well,
cheap.
I mean, I think that would be something that would be interesting, but the problem is the return.
Well, but
So
if you
it's
get
kinda
stuck in
like,
Hawaii, it's
kind of like, are you able to come back?
But if you're in Hawaii, maybe you don't care that much.
And then you call the government and be like, I'm stuck. I don't have any money.
Yeah, I need Social Security.
Yeah, I need all this stuff. That's probably to me the craziest thing that people are now dealing with. It's like no one really has a really good solution.
Yeah, I was like,
'Cause I think like Andrew Yang's like, this is why UBI is a good option because people can get money.
stay home.
Well, they like, because some people, like you said, like
Yeah.
they can't work, so how are they going to get paid? A lot of companies are doing good things where they're like, hey, we're continue paying you, but see, that can only last so long.
Yeah, companies can't just all go
So-
bankrupt paying everybody.
Well, it's
government bailouts.
Well, this is where Bernie Sanders needs to up that socialism thing. Be
Yeah.
like, we're going to do bread lines, and you don't have to pay for food.
Bread lines. Gosh, we're so screwed.
Well, not bread
All right.
lines. You know, you
Yeah, I
could do
understand.
crawfish lines.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Burrito lines.
Like,
Crawfish lines. Yum.
well, I would eat crawfish.
Hey,
It's boiled.
Yeah, it's oh, that's a good point. Delicious, Corona free. Everybody, stay safe out there. If you go to the movies, wear a little hand sanitizer afterwards. Drink a little Lysol.
Well, the nice thing about the ticket giveaway, the tickets are good for a year.
That's right. Ooh, you
So,
can wait till this whole thing blows over.
When this thing goes in incubation period before the real Passover happens, the Passover. I see. I came up with an idea. They should make the Passover too,
oh, but about coronavirus.
but make it like action. Because you know the angel of death is coming to your doorstep. So that's my tagline
Yeah.
again. And
Oh,
then
he's back.
he's back.
It could be like Final Destination. Like
Yeah.
if he passed over you the first time, he's coming back for you now.
I think that'd be great. And then the whole twist is no one really knows how to be saved.
Yeah.
Because the whole world is lost at this point religiously.
Oh, we don't know the blood on the
We don't know
doorpost anymore?
we don't know what religion's the right one.
Okay.
So the comedic scenes, everyone's trying different religions, trying to see which
What
works.
a montage of
Yeah, it's like
lighting the menorah and
which
stuff.
one's gonna be it? Which one is the real God? What do we do?
Oh, this has gotten deeper.
And
at
the,
the very end of
the
the
twist
show.
ending, spoiler alert, Nicolas Cage.
Oh, he is it.
He's it.
The only one left. Everybody, thanks. Tell a friend about the
You
show.
have to have his blood over your door, so everyone's chasing Nicolas Cage.
Then it becomes The Purge. Everybody, stay safe out there. Thank
Is
you for
he
listening.
in The
Share a
Purge? Is he
friend.
in a movie like that?
He's in that weird mom and dad movie. You remember
No,
that?
he's in a lockup movie. He's got to be. I think
I don't know. Probably so.
maybe I'm just forgetting.
All right. Well, for Dick, my name is Connor. We're signing off on the Ticket Stub.